how to do this. And so up here in this first part, let's use green. This is what you need on the right hand corner of your page. You need your address. You don't need your name. They should know your name. Just, your blah 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 8th Street, Traer, Iowa 50675. And the reason is when they want to write you back, they don't need to save like the envelope or anything like that. They can have it right here. And so that way it's good for them. And so it's just kind of etiquette, really. But it's really proper, and you should have it. The next thing you need, if it will disappear, there we go. The next thing you need is the date, which is January 14th, which is my dad's birthday tomorrow. I should probably call him 2014. Obviously, you're going to type it a lot better than that. But so, I mean, that's what it looks like. It's nothing fancy. It's just that. On these, I would like you to probably use the date it's due, which I think was the 28th. So do January 28th, 2014. So the final date for it, okay? Then this is going to be your salutation right here. So, dear grandchild, to my loving grandchild, however you want to do this salutation, okay? Once again, it's called a salutation. And hang on. I'm just kind of playing around with this to just see how well it works. And so that's your citation. And then you have your, the body of your paragraph or your body of your letter. And so there were just 4 criteria you had to cover. If you want to break up some of them into smaller paragraphs, I'm okay with it as long as it makes sense. So you can do it. So the minimum should be 4 decent sized paragraphs. If you want to go more, you can. So that's all that for you. Then down here, let's just go with black. All right. So down here, you're gonna do your closing. So sincerely, yours truly, however you want to say it, and then you leave a little bit of space. And the reason you do that, I'm gonna write space on here so you know. Space. I'm terribly sorry for that. All right. The next thing you're going to do is a space, and the reason is that that's where you put your signature. And usually, when people type up a document, they usually print it off, and then they send it to the person. When I just did a letter of recommendation for a student, and so I had to, space it out like 4. I would say maybe like 4 or 5 spaces, depending on how big your signature usually is. And then just in case they can't read the name, you would type out your name. If you're gonna do like a professional one where you have like a title, so like for example, in the one that I sent to that student, I wrote down that I was a 912 teacher at North Tama High School. If I were to be more specific, like if I were going to write it for speech, I would do speech coach or whatever. So maybe if you have a job and you're writing a letter for someone later on in life, you would write down your title as well. But for this one, you don't need to put like your grandmother or whatever. So, and that's really it. I mean, honestly, it's pretty self-explanatory how to do this. You will be graded on how well you do all this, and how well your paragraphs work. So, like, if you do break up, like, maybe the social and the cultural, make sure there's a reason, make sure there's a good break there. Now, if you have any questions over this paper, there's a couple of ways that you can contact me. There's a couple of I want to try.